feel like it's the with everything on fire in the manner that it is. It just feel like it's the right time to do a little revelation reading. Um, Toda Rabah, thank you very much for all y'all coming. There's a couple other people telling me they coming. I don't know where they at. Can't wait all day though. We get them when they come through. Hallelujah. So, a lot of times people, revelation, I remember when I was young, I was scared of revelations. I know a lot of people who say that, and it's not really taught, right? And part of the reason being, and I'm sure there's other reasons being, it might even be because a lot of people don't understand it, because when you understanding of the Bible, like a person can understand some Bible, but to understand all things, right? Like Yahushua said, so right here in, let me find something for y'all real quick, just so y'all know what I'm saying. So y'all know. So John, let's go to John 16:13. Start off there. This is part why you really don't hear. It says, and this Yahushua speaking, he says, I have yet many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now. Howbeit, when he, the spirit of truth, keyword being truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, meaning from Abba Yah, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. So I say that because there's a couple reasons why people don't teach revelations. A, the people ain't right. So when you put these people in Israel who don't fit none of the prophecies, right? And then you hide who the true people is, the revelations don't make sense because what you're looking at to be the people, they don't match the description of what's going on. That's A. B is what I just said about the truth, the spirit of truth. The traditions of the world don't teach the truth. They teach to walk in the traditions and the religions of the world. So when you do that, you can't, once again, decipher the prophecies and all that of the revelation, because as Yahushua himself said, it's the spirit of truth that will show you these things. So you have to be in that spirit to know. So, and we always go through the things that's off, but just for example, eating pork, it's a dietary law in the Bible. Eating pork, eating shellfish. There's quite a few things that people eat. Turtles are abominations to eat. Rabbits, not all things, but it's just quite a few things, right? Like I say, shrimp, lobster, crab, any of that. You're only supposed to eat fish with shells and a fin. So with that being said, you can't teach that that's okay, where it doesn't say that that's okay nowhere in the Bible. You can't teach that that's okay and then be partaking in that type of behavior. And it's just one smaller, well, I won't even say small, but it's just one thing because there's many. You can't walk in that type of life, but claim to walk in truth. So those are two prong reasons why you really don't catch people teaching out of the revelation, because as Yahushua said, to get the revelation, you have to be in this truth of the Most High. You can't be lying about the people. You can't be glossing over who they are. You can't be teaching that you don't have a law or statutes or things that you're supposed to do. The Bible demands certain things of you. And the reason Abiyah demands it is because he's saying that if you walk with me, if you do what I demand, then I'll bless you with all things. So you can't be half with me. You can't be half with me because the power that I'm willing to give you is so glorious that it's disrespectful for you to be half with me and expect to have that power. And lastly, the revelation speaks of judgment. And once again, the traditions, and these are the things that our people done picked up here in America, which were none of these things came from Africa with us. We've been taught all of this behavior, right? And the traditions, like I say, of the people around us that we've picked up, just like Solomon picked up the traditions of the women around him. And we seen that's an example for us today. Don't do what Solomon did. Yeah, we've done what Solomon did. Now, Solomon did it knowing better. We did it at least yesteryear in ignorance, but to Yah, still the same thing, because ignorant or not, you know that's not of your people, yet you choose to do it. See, you don't, Solomon knew the truth about it. We didn't know the truth, but we knew it wasn't of our people, yet we still did it. So the point I'm making is the traditions and the religion of the world, they teach, I shouldn't say they teach, they don't teach judgment. The whole word is in Jesus' name, and just pray, and and by his grace, and you just gonna be okay. And that's not the Bible. The Bible talks about judgment. The majority of the people on the world is not going to make it. That's what the Bible says. And even as we learn that we Israel, just because you are a descendant of a slave or a descendant of one of the tribes, and you have Israel on your DNA and in your blood, Paul said everybody in Israel ain't Israel, meaning learning that you Israel, that's just the first step. You then have to learn what Abba Yah commanded of Israel and walk in those ways. You can't know that you Israel and still be of the world. That's not going to cut it. So the third reason why you don't get these things taught is because the traditions of the world, they don't teach judgment. It's just, just pray and Jesus. And no, there is a judgment if you don't keep this thing to the letter. There is no way around it. And Revelation is about judgment. So a lot of times you don't get that taught. And we about to read about a judgment, right? So I preface y'all that with that, and I'm sure it's other reasons, but them just 3 reasons that stick out to me why a lot of times of all the books in the Bible, the Revelation is the one the least amount of people have read. A lot of people scared of the Revelation. Like I said, I was scared of the Revelation growing up, and then once I got into the Revelation, it's one of my favorite books. But see, now I understand truth though. Even though it's a judgment, if I'm willing to commit to the laws and the teachings of the Most High and apply it to my life, not just learn them, but apply them, then the revelation is a reason to rejoice, because I know that it's giving me the prophecy of what's to come to save our people and the people around us who pick up the ways and study. 1 second. Yeah, hallelujah. So we're going to start there, and we're just going to start in chapter 1 to see. So Revelation chapter 1, verse 1 say, the revelation of Yahushua Hamashiach. And we know that Yahushua means, ain't no J in Hebrew. It really means Yahuwah, salvation. Hallelujah. You right on time. You right on time, because we just started. But we know, like I said, we know that Yahushua, or Yehoshua, some people say, Yehoshua or Yahushua, it's different pronunciations, but it's Yahushua. That's how I like to say it. And there is no J. That's funny. I think about it because they got the Yah here, the Y, and then down here when they try to break it down and give us their interpretation, they add the J. But it really means Yahuwah, salvation. And that's why we pray in his name. Because when you use the name of Jesus, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a name. It's just syllables and sounds put together to make a name, really a nickname, a translation of the name. But when you pray in the name of Yahushua, you're praying in the name of Yahuwah, salvation. See, you're giving glory to the Most High in the name of his son, who he sent here to intercede on our behalf. That's a different kind of prayer. That's a different kind of power. It's power in the name. As we seen at the funeral, Remy, I didn't do nothing but pray in the name. And Homie after me didn't even know how to handle himself because all I did was pray in the name. It rubbed him wrong. Hallelujah. That show you the power that's in the name. The revelation of Yahushua, Christ just means anointed. Hamashiach means anointed or Messiah in Hebrew. So the revelation of Yahushua Hamashiach, which Elohim gave unto him to show unto his servants, the disciples, things which must shortly come to pass. We just read, Yahushua said, I can't tell y'all all things, y'all ain't ready. But Abiyah gave him that to show to his disciples, and he sent and signified it by his angel unto the servant Yahakanah. So after Yahushua then ascended back into the heavens, he died, he resurrected, he taught some more, and he ascended into the heavens. They sent an angel back to talk to Yahakanah, like, here go the things that he didn't fill in for y'all. He said y'all wasn't ready yet. We feel like you ready now. To Yahakanah. Let me see the name of John in the Hebrew origin, which is funny. Like I say, they always tell us the New Testament in Greek, yet all of the names they tell us of Hebrew origin, which lets you know that it was never in Greek. That's just talk. But Yahakanah, that's how you say John in Hebrew, right? Let's see what it means real quick. Yahakanah, Yahuwah favored. So when you say Yahakanah, when his parents named him, they was like, Yahuwah favors you. So we're going to name you Yahakanah for whatever reason they felt that way. Verse 2, who bear record of the word of Elohim, or the Most High, and of the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach, and of all things that he saw. So now, once again, the traditions of the world teach that you know about the grace and in Jesus' name, but it's not that. First and foremost, it's still Abba Yah overall, period. Yahushua says that. Don't call me good. It's a part where one of them weighing up on Yahushua. They like, good teacher, blah, blah, blah. And Yahushua like, why you call me good? I'm not good. It's my Father in heaven that's good. He's the only person good. I'm just here. I'm a brother and a servant here, just like you, right? Don't give me no glory. Now, you pray in my name and you do things in my name when you recognize who I am, but you still have to do those things in my name to ask my Father for something. He's the one who does all things. And that's why he said to bear record of the Most High and the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach and of all things that he saw. So we know Yahakanah is a disciple because he was with Yahushua. He had to see them things. Verse 3, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy. So now you see Revelation isn't just any old thing, it's a prophecy. And it says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words, meaning understand this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Now, this was 2,000 years ago when he wrote this, and they were already saying, we in the last days. Think about that. 2,000 years ago. We say that now. 2,000 years ago, they were already saying, we in the last days, right? But remember, a day with Yah is 2,000 years. Abba Yah is 1,000. A day with Yah is 1,000 years. Abba Yah isn't on our time. We're on his time. So the last days to Yah may be 2,000 years. Now, last days to us now may be the last 10 years, 5 years, 30 years. Some people may say the last 100 years has been the last days. But the last days to Yah may be 2,000 years, because to Yah, that's only 2 days. You see what I'm saying? Remember that as we go through this, you can't look at the timing in Revelation based off us, because we just men. Yah's timing is different. So when it may say something like, all this will happen in an hour. You got to remember, an hour to us is 60 minutes. An hour to Yah might be 30 days. You see what I'm saying? So you have to keep that in perspective. An hour to Yah might be 100 days. An hour to Yah might be 10 years. You have to keep that in perspective, that we're on Yah's time. He isn't on our time. But blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for a time is at hand. And that's what we're going to read. Blessed is he that readeth and understands this prophecy, and keep those things written therein. And we see that now more than ever. Like I said, the time is at hand today. I jumped down in verse 1 because I always bring this up to people. It describes, and this is what I mean about the spirit of truth. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to his foot, and girt about with the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, which I don't think that white means a color. This is light, but it was woolly hair. So give us a description. It was woolly hair, as white as snow, and his eyes were like a flame of fire. And his feet was like unto fine brass. And I always bring that up because this is what I mean about truth, right? Copper, burnished copper, like a penny. That's brown, right? Yet, once again, the religions of the traditions, and this is what I mean by the truth. And it say as if burned in the furnace. So this dark brown, and his voice is the sound of many waters. And this is what I be meaning about the truth, because our people, once again, and it was a tactic by the slave owners and all of that to get us off our square. They gave our people an image of a Caucasian European Messiah, right? But that's not true. The scriptures say don't make no graven images to me to be bowing in front of. First off, I don't know if having a picture of them is okay, but if you bowing in front of crosses and pews and praying, that's a graven image. But B, and most importantly, if you do make an image of me, don't make a fake image. You see what I'm saying? So you can't serve him in righteousness and truth. You can't serve him in righteousness and truth and be halfway with it. And he put that in it says that in the Old Testament too, because you got two kind of people. Some people only believe the Old Testament. Some people all about the New Testament. So he put it in both spots so you can't get around it. I said that my son would have feet of burnt brass. Basically, he would be a black man, a brown-skinned man, a dark brown man too at that. For you to make him white, and through colonialism, I think I talked about this with you before, Remy. When you hear about colonialism, when the Europeans was going around the world, basically calling themselves civilizing the world, which ain't even true, they were taking this white Messiah in Jesus' name, the evangelicals, the Jesus, a white man. That's a lie. That's a lie. And we're about to get into that. This was this study about today. So that's why you can't, and not just Revelation. That's why you don't get deep understandings on really a whole when it comes to the scriptures, because you have to serve Abba Yah and righteousness and truth. And the truth ain't the easiest thing to bear. Like, we all have to adjust to the truth. I have to adjust to the truth every day. It's things that I still do that I'll learn and be like, okay, that ain't really what's up. So I have to adjust the truth. Once again, just like Abba Yah isn't on our time, we're on his. The truth ain't on our time. The truth doesn't adjust to us in our situation. No matter what your situation in life is, no matter who your genealogy is, whether you're European, African, Asian, whatever, you adjust to the truth. And that's not how the world goes. The truth adjusts to the times. Case in point, the scripture says that it's a punishment for being gay in the Bible. Yet you got the Pope in these churches now saying it's gay pastors. That's okay. They try to make excuse for that now, because the culture of the world is all about individuality. We gay, and be what you want to be, because I'm not the judge, but you got to answer to Yah for that. You feel me? But to claim to be the ambassadors of the word, and we're going to come back to that word too, but to be making that provision, that's man trying to make the truth bend to what men are doing. That ain't how the scripture wrote. The scriptures say men are going to bend to the truth. And if they don't, we're going to get into what the fate is of that. If you try to bend the truth to what you're doing and you don't bend to the truth, there's a punishment behind that. The truth doesn't bend. The truth doesn't bend, men do. So we're going to read from Revelation 17:1, and y'all probably heard some of this before. This is about Mystery Babylon and Babylon. I thought this was a good read. So get my notes out. I took a few notes for y'all, man. It's always a good day when I took some notes, man. So first and foremost, Revelation 17:1 is saying, there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So the seven angels with the seven vials, this part of if you go back and read Revelation 15 and 16, maybe even going back, You know, you got 7 angels blowing 7 trumpets in the end. The 7 vials are 7 bowls, right? And we're just going to go to the Greek, but we'll bring it up in Hebrew if we need. It just means a shallow cup, like they're pouring out certain judgments on the earth is the analogy. So the 7 angels with the 7 vials, you got 7 trumpets, and then you got 7 bowls specifically. So you got 3 sets of 7s of angels, and the number 7 biblically is completion. Abiyah created the world and everything in 7 days, in 6 days, and then he rested on the 7th, which is a complete cycle. So whenever you catch the word 7 or 70 or 700 in the Bible, a lot of times it'll be speaking towards the completion of things or a judgment, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the 7 and the completion of it comes judgment. So whenever you see 7s in the Bible, it'll lean to that. So 7 angels, 7 vows, right? They talked with Yahachanan. They said, come here, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And in the Greek, fornication is to act the harlot, that is, indulge unlawful lust of either sex or figuratively practice idolatry. The Hebrew definition, though, which is what we're looking for. So the word for fornication in Hebrew is zana, pronounced zana, and it means highly fed and therefore wanton, to commit adultery, usually of the female and less often simply fornication, rarely of involuntary ravishment, meaning like a rape or something, figuratively to commit idolatry. Jewish people, or Yehudians, being regarded as the spouse of Yahuwah, which is true. Israel is supposed to be the bride. Yahushua is the bridegroom. They cause to commit fornication. So that's why you hear that fornication a lot with idolatry, because it's like, if Israel is the bride, then when y'all worship anything other than me, then you are cheating on Yahushua, who is the bridegroom, and it just in a simple sense. Commit fornication, play the harlot, commit fall to whoredom, go a whoring horse. So when we pick up the ways of and this is what Solomon did, he committed fornication against Yah, same as we do today. When we pick up the ways of the people around us and we stop doing the truth of our ancestors, which Abiyah understands, they stole your history, but it's 2021. I done gave y'all the internet. I done gave y'all plenty books. I done gave y'all a lot of tools to be able to look back and find yourself. Plus, I've given you the Bible. See, a slave may be able to say, I didn't have no way to get to know no understanding, no knowledge. We couldn't read and write in the land. All the books was English. He may be able to say that, and his judgment may be something different. We won't be able to say that. It don't matter how old you is. You won't be able to say that in 2021. Everybody know how to read. Everybody know how to. Everybody may not be computer savvy, but you know how to read. You know how to discern information, or at least the most part of us. You still got some elders who come from that way. But the point is, we won't be able to say that. So he's saying this whore that sit up on these waters, all the kings of the earth, meaning the leaders, the billionaires, all of the so-called powerful men of the world and women, have committed fornication, meaning idolatry. They have cheated on the teachings. Keep this in mind as we do this. This is about the truth. They have cheated on the teachings of the truth, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, meaning the world doesn't even care about the truth. They're comfortable in the lie. That's all they want to do, which is true. When we go out talking truth, and when you talk truth to some people, it's some people who you talk to, they don't care nothing about that. They like, we doing this, we doing that, we made it, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about that? And Abiyah saying that. Remember, this was written 2,000 years ago. He's telling them it's going to come a day where people are not going to care about the truth at all. They're going to be drunk with the wine of the lie, meaning intoxicated. Let's see, drunk right here. Did I write drunk down? No, I didn't. So in the Greek, to drink, intoxication, that is get drunk, drink well, meaning they're going to be drunk, good and drunk, well fed. They're going to be good with the lie. We don't care nothing about no truth, none of that. We don't care who the real people of this Bible is. We don't care about nothing. We don't care because they lying. Look at my house. Look at my car. You see what I'm saying? Them just examples. They're going to be drunk with the lie that this whore or this harlot that sitteth upon many waters is carrying around. Remember that. Verse 3. So he carried me away in the ruach, or the spirit, into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit up on a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So, blasphemy. Let's see. Now we're going to bring all this up in Hebrew. So, blasphemy in Hebrew is natah, natsa, right? Na'atsa. That's blasphemy in Hebrew. It means scorn or blasphemy. Let's see in the ancient. 17 D1. Hold on. That was actually pretty dope. It means to despise, right? Blasphemy, provocation. It means so full of names of deception or to despise, right? A spark. And you know, it's funny because in the root word definition, it says that it means to the sparkling colors coming off metal when struck, right? The petals of a flower, like sparks of metal, meaning blasphemy and for by that definition, it's like blasphemy is like when you strike 2 pieces of metal, right? And the colors that spark off, that's what you're doing. When you use blasphemy, that's a metal and you sparking it off the truth. And it's the colors that spark off, like you're hitting against or you're going against the truth when you blaspheme. And it says that this woman set up on a scarlet colored beast, right? Scarlet, and this is important. So scarlet, let's show you something. So going back, let's go to the prophet Nahum. This is the prophet Nahum, chapter 2, verse 3. It says, the shield of his mighty men is red. The valiant men are in scarlet. The chariot shall be flaming torches in the day of his preparation, and the fir tree shall be terribly shaken, right? Scarlet, his valiant men are in scarlet, right? And another one is Matthew 27:28, when Yahushua was about to be crucified, they threw him in scarlet, right? And they stripped him and put on a scarlet robe. So remember, scarlet is a color of authority, just like purple is a color of royalty, they say, or authority, scarlet as well. Keep that in mind as we go. So this woman set up on a scarlet colored beast or a beast of authority, right? Full of names of blasphemy, meaning she was given names that go against the truth. Think of some names that go against the truth. I've named some. Jesus, that's not the truth. God, that's not the truth. Mohammed, that's not the truth. Buddha, that's not the truth. Krishna, that's not the truth. Ra, that's not the truth. See, we could think of a lot of names that people use. All of that comes from this woman, and you're going to see as we go, because all of those are supposed to be that. The sun god is the god, and Krishna is the god of destruction, I believe, in Hinduism or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it's not the truth. Muhammad came 700 years after Yahushua, yet they claim Muslims believe in Yahushua. They'll say, yeah, Yahushua lived, and when they killed him, Allah took the prophecy from them and gave it to Muhammad, and he's the last prophet. That's not the truth, right? Buddha, whatever he stands for, it's not the truth. And then the mockery they make with the name of Jesus, like I said, there is no power in that name. That's not the truth. Yahushua is power in his name. Yahushua said, if you ask the Father in my name, he'll do all things. You can't ask the Father in a nickname. And like I say, in 2021, you can't say, oh, well, I only knew it in English, blah, 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 blah. And the reason you can't say that is because just in culture, let me think of somebody. The soccer player, Cristiano Ronaldo, right? And this is just for a sport. It don't even mean nothing. But when they talk about him on ESPN and on the news for soccer, they don't say Chris Ronald. They tell you Cristiano Ronaldo. They give you his name in the language that it was spoken. Yet when it comes to the Messiah of the world, they change his name. When you think about like Enrique Iglesias and all those Spanish singers, they don't make you say Eric Igloo, or whatever Iglesias would be in English, right? But when it comes to the Messiah, they give you a translation. See what I'm saying? We don't give translations for things like music and sports and things that doesn't even mean nothing. But they force a translation of the world of the true name of Yahushua, the Messiah. And then they call Yah God. And we done went through that. They knew the name of Yah, yet they put God in your Bible. That's not the truth. And that's what this means by full of names of blasphemy. This woman is sitting on a beast of authority and is full of names of blasphemy, meaning every name outside of the real name, you're blaspheming the Most High, having 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, let's see here. Let me make sure I don't miss nothing for y'all, man. Yeah, scarlet and purple are colors of authority. Remember that. We see what blasphemy means, names of deception or to despise or to provoke Yah. Remember, the devil told Yah that these people gonna worship me, whether they know it. He didn't say it, but he basically, whether they know it or not, they gonna worship me. So when they pray to you in Jesus' name, they praying to me. They ain't praying to your son. They praying to who I gave him, a white man who told them that the law was done away with it. You could keep Christmas and Easter. Oh, don't worry about Passover and all of that. See, that's what and people who try to tell you that, they gloss over that. That's why they don't understand this. Because you have to walk, and nobody's perfect, but you have to be committed to trying to walk in truth to understand the word of Yah. He'll never give understanding to a person who ain't trying. That don't mean you got to be perfect, because he knows that we all got to learn. But you will never catch nobody who locked into the traditions of men who know the true truth about the Bible. That's why when you hear, and I say this humbly, but that's why a lot of times when y'all hear me talk Bible, it's completely, matter of fact, at the funeral was a prime example of that. I prayed in the name of Yahushua. I quoted scriptures and said things that I knew scripturally. The man who went up right after me refuted almost everything I said. You know why? Because he wasn't striving for the truth. He was teaching what tradition has taught our people to say at funerals. The same scriptures. Oh, he got his wings and went to heaven, and to be absent from the body is to be present with Yah. And remember, you done been to a lot of funerals. You done heard that script over and over and over. None of that's Bible. That's tradition. That's not the truth. That's the point I'm trying to make. The truth and the lie will never connect. And I didn't go in there for that, but Yah made that stick out. And it wasn't even just to us. It's multiple people from that funeral who hit me and said, dude spent his whole speech talking about what you just said. It's multiple people who hit me from that funeral and said, we didn't even feel that pastor who went up after you because he didn't speak about Aaron's life. All he talked about was what you had just said. And that was, I don't go in no church. I realize it now that that's why Abba Yah made me go there, to show the difference between the truth and tradition. And it was on display. Everybody in the room didn't get it, but it was a lot of people in that room who got it because they didn't reach out. Like I said, the pastor from the church we was in told me. Another elder who was standing out there told me. Multiple young people who I didn't even know pay no attention told me. Like, Yah put it on display. There's a difference between the truth, and the truth doesn't have to talk at the lie. But Yah made sure that the difference was shown. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet. So now the woman got on authority and royalty, showing that she's a person of stature, whoever this woman is, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of fornication. What he's saying is, this woman who sits up on this beast of authority, she has on purple and scarlet. She is in authority. The lie is in authority, right? She's decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, meaning to succeed under this lie, you have to buy into that, which is why you got these churches now saying it's okay to have gay pastors and all of that, because to succeed in this world, which is under the lie, you have to buy into what this world is selling, not the truth. Having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication, meaning the golden cup is the shiny object. You want to get this golden cup like us? You want to come be part of Hollywood? You want to come be some big time rapper or even a politician? You got to buy into this lie. You want to succeed in this world that we've created? You got to buy into this lie. All these black people run around talking about they Hebrew Israelites. You can't get nothing. You see that with the celebrities. Soon as these celebrities get to talk about some we the Hebrews, it's over with. They be like, you can't do no more songs. You can't be in no more movies. And a lot of them get to apologize. And you've only had like one or two who done stood on whatever then we ain't gonna do it because they were standing on truth. That'll bode well for them at the judgment. They didn't care about the spoils of the world. Now, granted, Ice Cube, he did it. He was already worth like 200-300 million. It might be easier for him to say, all right, whatever. You feel me? But still, at least he had the heart to take that stand. Some of them other cats, Nick Cannon, Deshaun Jackson, the football player, Kendrick Lamar, some of these other cats, when it came to them, they all bowed, man. We was just talking and blah, 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 blah. We sorry if we offended anybody. Ice Cube said, I don't care what. All right. He richer than all of them. It might have been easier for him, but at least he took a stand. You see that with this cancel culture now, right? They go all off into your past. You ever said something about being gay and not even racist? That go to show you another thing. You could be to call somebody any nigger you want. You could still get that job. Let you have been one of these black people talking about critical race theory and this systematic racism in America. Man, they may tell you you can't even get a job. There was one black girl they wouldn't even let get the job at a newspaper because back in her day, she wrote like some article talking about how it was systematic racism or something like that. They like, no. See what I'm saying? You can call somebody a nigger, though. You can still get that job. You say anything about these gays. I remember they was on that with Kevin Hart. Went back, used to talk about gays. You can't even do the Emmys or something like that. That's the lie. You have to buy into what we say is true to succeed. That's what that's saying. And we didn't have examples of that. Y'all done seen cancel culture happen with people, white, black, whatever. You say anything that go against what they say is the standard, it's over with. You can't make no more money, or at least you can't make it in a grand scheme. You know, you can always invest some money behind the scenes and make some money, but you can't be on the stage, though. Verse 5, and upon our forehead was written the name, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations on the earth. So now we see that this woman, who they talking about, who's selling this lie, clothed in royalty and authority, on a beast of authority, got all the riches in the world, and to drink from her golden cup. You want this shiny object, you want to live like us, you have to buy into the abominations and the filthiness, meaning everything that's against y'all and the truth. And that's Mystery Babylon, the great harlot. It's a system. Mystery Babylon is a system. She is the mother of all harlots. Mystery Babylon is the mother. And that's why I said, it don't matter if it's Buddha, Mohammed, Krishna, America right now goes into these nations and tells them, well, if you don't make it legal for people to be gay and them be in the mirror, and it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrats. Republicans run like, well, we against being gay, and that's their platform. Soon as they become president, just like Donald Trump, when they get off in Africa, they tell them nations, no, y'all got to accept them people being gay or you can't get no foreign aid. Same in Asia. You still got parts around this world where they make that being illegal. But America come tell you, you want this aid, you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with abortion. And so on and so forth. Whole time while America dictating that, it's known around the world. It's systematic racism against them blacks with your judicial system. It's systematic racism against them blacks who, as slaves, built your country with your healthcare system, with your education, with your politics, everything. The whole world know. They hold them blacks down. As systematic racism always been there. Don't nobody say nothing about that. They bow the knee because they have to do that to get into that cup of Mystery Babylon, which is the system. And we're going to get to that. Hallelujah. Y'all follow me so far, man? Let me know if y'all follow me because this gets deeper. Let me make sure y'all understand where we at. Somebody let me know, man. Say something. Everybody good? Y'all quiet. Everybody must be good. All right.
Fully understood. Let's get it.
All right. Just making sure somebody understands. Man.
That's spot on, too. That's all the way spot on.
I just wait. Remember, this was written 2,000 years ago. Keep that in mind.
They blatantly doing this, though, now. Where a blind man can see this, if you know the word. We live in some crazy times, man. But I'm with you. Let's get it.
That's why the Most High said, remember we read in the beginning, blessed is he who reads and hears or understands this prophecy.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because they doing it every day with people, man. That the most recent one is the baby right now, even though he was up there on the stage wild and he still spoke on racism. They done blackballed him on everything.
Exactly. Exactly. You want to be part of these rich?
Everything.
You want to get in this golden cup? You want these gold and these precious stones that I got? You got to bow up under what we say is true, not what you say is true.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's real.
You got to bow.
It's real. And I would actually say that would be the definition of a person selling their soul if they still bow. Honestly,
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's why Yahushua said, "What does it profit a man to gain the world and sell his soul?" Because in gaining the world and selling your soul, you lose the kingdom.
Yeah.
You lose the kingdom. The world ain't as lit as the kingdom. That's what he was telling them. If you was out there, Yahushua was like, the world ain't as lit as the kingdom. Don't do that.
I know what you're doing.
It's popping in the kingdom. This whack.
You better know what you're doing.
Adam was in paradise. You ain't in no paradise. Don't miss paradise. Trying to get a few gold chains. That's what Negroes do it for now, too. Think about it. Basketball players, too. Don't miss paradise trying to get a few gold chains, dog, and a nice car. You're going to miss paradise for a big house in captivity. See, when you're a descendant of a slave, yeah, you may live in Beverly Hills, but you still in captivity. You can't go home. You may have enough money to go visit. You ain't gonna move home. And your people as a nation, remember, Yah judged us individually, but he also judges Israel as a nation. The nation of Israel, the true Israel, the ones with the feet of burnt baths, like it was burned in the furnace. Y'all can't go home. You can go visit. I may go to Africa one of these days. It's one of the few spots you can still go to without being vaccinated. I wanted to take Ariel, had all this had happened different, probably about right now, once she started turning 2 or 3, I was going to go to Israel and baptize Ariel myself in the Jordan. So since that's become, I won't say impossible, but not likely, I may go baptize her somewhere in Africa. Coming soon. I don't know yet. It's been on my heart, though. I'm going to pray and see what y'all say. But I was going to go baptize her in the Jordan. And I would be thinking about it like right around now, 2 or 3, I was going to go take her. And actually, I had a spot in mind that I'd seen people go to where I believe Yahushua was at. With Yahshua, I was going to go take her to do that. I'm a little disappointed that I can't do that, but I trust I'll be beyond what he's doing, and I know it's something greater to see. But that was definitely the plan. But I'm not buying into their system to go do it. See what I'm saying? You can't force me to do something to do. It's not that real. I'm not buying into Mystery Babylon to go to Israel to baptize Ariel. I'll put us in Israel if he mean for me to be there. Hallelujah. Verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. This word saints is important. We hear this word a lot. What is a saint? Let's see here. What is a saint? So this is Greek. The saint is sacred, physically pure, morally blameless, or religious ceremonially, which we know this a lot because there is no religion in the Bible. Either you follow Yah or you don't. Consecrated. In Hebrew, here goes the saint. In Hebrew, Kodesh, a sacred place or thing. Kodesh. And so when you hear me say the Ruach Kodesh, Ruach is spirit, and Kodesh, saint and holy, is the same word. So when you hear me say the Ruach Kodesh in Hebrew, that's how you would say Holy Spirit in Hebrew. Holy Spirit in Hebrew is Ruach Kodesh, right? A sacred place or thing, really abstract, sanctity, consecrated, dedicated, hallowed, right? Holy, portion, thing, saint, sanctuary, basically something set apart. As you see right here in the ancient, I was just going to say that. Holy means set apart, right? Set apart. In the ancient, remember, you saw this sun on the horizon. This is the call. Is this the call? I don't know, Shelly. Kuf, right? This means the sun is at the horizon. In Hebrew, if a Hebrew saw this picture back in the day, this would mean the gathering of light. When the sun sets in Hebrew, as you see the light start to go down with the sun, in Hebrew, he would say that the sun was gathering the light back to himself as he said. That's when it became dark. So Kodesh, or set apart, this means this is the door, this is the Dalet, this is the door, and this is the Shin. It's two pair of teeth, which means destruction or to rip something apart. So set apart in Hebrew means the gathering of light at the door of the destroyer, right? And we know the destroyer is Yahushua. So what it's saying to be set apart is you're gathered at the door of the house of Yah with Yahushua, but you're not of the world, right? Set apart from the rest for a special function. So when you see this word saint, because you hear this word a lot, people talk about, well, the church and the saints, and ain't no saints in there. They're not walking in no truth. See what I'm saying? See what the lie do? You can't be a saint unless you're walking in the truth of Yahuwah. That's a lie. When it say, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, Christians not getting killed. No, you know who getting killed in America? Niggas. Because they were the chosen people. This is why we have to learn our history back. This is why our people stumble, because we don't know who we are. We think it's just some black cloud over us. Oh, woe is me. The police still kill us, and Jim Crow, they was hanging us, and we didn't been through. No, you've been through that because you are the saints. And this woman, the lie, is drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. Almost all of the disciples were killed. I can only think of maybe 2 who died peaceful deaths. Almost all of them died for the truth. See, we die now just because the truth is in your blood. They died for the truth, knowing what they were dying for. But we are the same blood. And when I saw her, I wondered with a great admiration. Let me make sure we right here. Yeah. Let me make sure we right here. So now, and the angel said to me, now Yahachanan watched all this. He like, wow. So now the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and the beast that carried her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. So now an angel like, man, don't be tripping on that. Don't be tripping on that, Ak. The angel like, when you hear me say Ak, that just means brother in Hebrew. The angel like, don't be tripping on that, Ak. I got you. That's what I've been sent to you for. You want to know what all that means? Come over here. I'm going to show you. Verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. That's talking about the devil or even the Antichrist. Check it out. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not. And that word wonder right there, as you see, it says, and this is in the Greek, I could bring it up in the Hebrew too, but it says they will admire the beast. See what I'm saying? People admired the lie. I remember Lauryn Hill had a song where she was talking about they be having conferences at Yale discussing doctrines in Baal, meaning the high society, the top knowledge, sit around discussing and trying to decipher the words of the harlot, because Baal is a name of blasphemy. Admire, having admiration, marvel, wonder. So that word marvel mean they will admire the beast, right? So just to make y'all, just to bring y'all up to speed of this beast. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And this is where they talk about the Antichrist in Revelation 13. And I stood up on the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Same beast. See what I'm saying? And upon his horns, 10 crowns, and upon his heads, the name of blasphemy. Once again, now this ain't even the woman. He said the beast rose up out the sea and had this. The Antichrist or the devil. He is and remember that the woman is the system, these men, these governments of the world who sailed a lot to the people, but it comes from the devil. Mohammed, all that, like I said, Krishna, Jesus, God, Lord, all that's of the devil. Abba Yah says, praise my name. You can't praise me talking about some praise the Lord. Who is that? My name is Yahuwah. And we done did it in here. We've showed that they knew his name. They purposely took it out the word. That's of the devil. That's what this is saying. It's the devil who gave the woman all that power to do that. the beast that she sit on with the scarlet color of authority. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth the mouth of a lion, and the dragon. See, that's the Antichrist, because the dragon is the devil. They gave him his power and his seat and great authority. So sometimes when you see this beast, remember, it could be talking about the Antichrist, but it could also be talking about the devil himself, because he has his power and his seat and his great authority on earth was given to him by the devil. And I saw one of his heads, and it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. We read last time about the wound. When Yahushua died and went to hell, he smacked him up, wounded his head. Yahakanah saying in the end, when he come back, the wound done been healed. He done been released. We read last time about the wound, man. Yahushua smacked him up when he went to hell and got Adam, as he had told Adam 6,000 years or 4,000 years before, I'm gonna come get you. We read that last time. And all the world wondered at the beast, marveled again. See what I'm saying? The world gonna be admirers of him, not us in the truth. That's why the blessing of this prophecy is so important, because from us walking in truth and knowing this prophecy, when we see him, we gonna run the other way. But make sure you know, it's people that you talk to every day who is not gonna run the other way with you. They gonna be marveling too. Know that. Verse 4, and they worship the dragon. The dragon is Hasatan, which gave power to the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who was able to make war with him? So that just goes to show you. That's just me showing you that the beast is the Antichrist. But he comes from Hasatan. So when you hear beast, it could be interchangeable. It could be Antichrist or it could be Hasatan, because the beast has his power and authority from Hasatan, right? So she said he saw it ascend out the bottomless pit. This is the Antichrist, and that dwell on the earth. The people that dwell on the earth they're gonna admire him, as they do today, because they already admired a lot, right? From the and the ones whose name were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. See, that go to show you Abiyah knew the end from the beginning. He already got your name. He already know who gonna admire him. You already not in the book of life. He already know. Hallelujah. Verse 9, and here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. So the beast had 7 heads. He said it's 7 mountains. It's 7 continents on the earth. Listen to the prophecy. You got North and South America, that's 2. Asia, Europe, Africa, Australia is called a continent, and Antarctica. It's 7 continents. So what he's saying right here is, the lie that this woman carrying with all this blasphemy, it's going to be on every continent, right? And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet to come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Understand who the kings is. The very first king after, where we at here? Let me make sure. The very first king after the flood was Nimrod in Babylon, who was teaching a lie, the Tower of Babel. He was lying. That's 1. Right after that, 2, when the Israelites, which was like 400 years from that, well, yeah, really about 800 years from that. But the next king, when Israel was the slaves in Egypt, Egypt was the world power. He was the next king. That's 2. Babylon came back, and Israel went back into captivity under Babylon, but they've already been counted as a king. You don't count them again. The next king after them was Persia. When he conquered Israel and freed Israel, Persia was the king of the world. Xerxes and Syrians. That's 3. Greece and Alexander the Great conquered them. When he conquered that, they were the main power of the world. That's 4. Rome conquered them. They were the main power of the world. That's 5. Rome fell. When Rome fell, Europe split up. France, Germany, Britain, Italy, Spain, all that spawned out of Rome falling. Yet none of them was the world power. They always fought through Europe trying to be the world power. Nobody could ascend to it. Napoleon in the 1700s for France, he almost did it. He got killed or he got exiled to an island. He couldn't do it. Hitler came in the 1900s. If Hitler would have won World War II and World War I, Germany would have been the world power of the world. They lost. You know why? Because the nation where Israel was starting, and make sure you understand. Let me stop this real quick. Show y'all something. Did I close that, yo? Oh, here we go. Let me make sure y'all understand something real quick. So Rome fell. There was never a power. This is called Romanus Pontifex, right? The Roman pontiff is a papal bull issued several times over the 15th century. First in 1436 by Pope Eugenius IV, and again in 1455 by Pope Nicholas V to King Alfonso V of Portugal. As a follow-up to the Dom Diversis, it confirmed to the Crown of Portugal dominion over all land south of Cape Bordeaux. As you see where Cape Bordeaux is, it's in the northwest side of Africa. Remember, the slaves start coming from that western side when you get south to Ghana and all of that, which is the slave coast. Remember that. Along with encouraging the seizure of lands of Saracen Turks and non-Christians, it repeated the earlier bull's permission for the enslavement of such peoples. So I read that to you to tell you that as that fifth nation was falling, the Pope was still in power, and he's the one who started slavery, right? So know that, you feel me? The fifth nation was Rome. It failed. Napoleon couldn't do it. Hitler couldn't do it. But the nation that benefited the most off of having Israel. See, this is why it don't make sense, because the people don't know the people. When you hide the people, the prophecy don't make sense. Israel is where? In America. America ran to Europe and stopped Hitler, which they was bogus. I said this in here before. They beg America to come help them fight Hitler, yet none of those nations said, but y'all hypocrites, you over there Jim Crowing and lynching and hanging niggas. We don't care nothing about that. Come help us beat Hitler. After Hitler fell after World War II, you had a new world power, which was who? America, the new Babylon. That's 6, right? 5 have fallen. 1 is. America is the new power. And what makes America different from Rome, America is Rome. The Europeans who came here and populated it, the French, the British, the Germans, all of them nations, the Italians, the Spanish, all them nations that made up Rome, that populated America. But America goes a step further. Saudi Arabia got big money here. They run a big part of it. China got big money here. They run a big part of it. See, America represents the world now, and it's the superpower. Donald Trump did one thing, and he let us know the stretch of America. Donald Trump would get up and put a tweet up like, I don't know what Apple talking about, man. They better cut my phone back on. And economies all over the world are just tank. People will start selling Apple stock. Donald Trump showed the world the power of America. But, and I say this, he was bumbling and stumbling around to do it. But Yah used him in his bumbling and his stumbling to show that's Babylon. That's who fight for the lie around the world. Yeah, the Pope has some power and say we're religion, but he don't run the world. He needs America to go stand on these nations. You're going to let Christians do this and gay pastors do that. You're going to let abortion be cool. America is who defends the lie today more than any other nation, because it is the 6th nation. It is the next power. The 7th one who will continue a short space is the Antichrist, who is to come. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. Let's talk about the devil. And he is of the 7th, because the Antichrist, remember, gets his power from the devil. After the Antichrist, Yeshua is going to come in the world. And then after 1,000 years of peace, the devil's going to be released from hell, and he's going to make war one more time. And Yeshua, that's when the final judgment comes. He's the 8th. He is the last. Will be a kingdom known to be of the devil. The Antichrist is coming because America is 6. Just follow me. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as of yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Right? These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is master of masters and king of kings. And they that are with him are called chosen and faithful. So the 10 horns is kings who don't have kingdoms yet, because like we were talking about these fires and these floods, you already see America and these nations, the grip of these nations of the world is falling. So when they fall, the Antichrist is going to raise up and the world is going to say, we trust in you to get, as they say with COVID, everybody wear a mask so we can get back to normal. We need you to get us back to normal. You already see the 10 kings being situated, because they won't be nations. They'll be these billionaires who run around with all this money. You got billionaires running into space. You already hear about them buying underground cities and stacking them with enough water to last 50 and 100 years. And you already hear it. So these 10 kings are going to be, that don't have kingdoms yet. They aren't necessarily going to be nations. They're going to be these powerful, rich men and families who are already springing up, showing themselves around the world. They're going into outer space. They do what they want. Bill Gates is behind. How Bill Gates, dude, come from Microsoft, making technology and chips, yet he is behind vaccination programs all over the world. How is that even possible? Dog, you a computer head. What you know about a vaccine? Do y'all understand where we at before I go on, man? Anybody got any questions so far? I got to make sure y'all walking with me as we walk this down, man. Y'all get it? Somebody say yeah. Somebody let me know something if you get it, man. I got to make sure y'all know where we at before we walk on. Remy, you good? Shelly, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm solid on that. We're going to pick that back up later on our phone call, though.
No question. We already see these kings popping up, man. You already got these rich billionaires, these families, the Rothschilds, there's many families, the Rockefellers, you got Bezos, you got powerful men, you got billionaire. And remember that Forbes list you see that they show these people with this money? Always remember, Forbes can only show who says and allows them to print their net worth. Jeff Bezos ain't the richest man in the world. I think he's worth 200 billion now. That is pennies to them sultans in Saudi Arabia who sell all that oil. They may be worth trillions, dog. The Rothschilds who own banking, own insurance, own the companies to move the oil. That family is worth trillions, dog. I'm just using the names we know. They small money. Bill Gates is small money to the. I once read an article that said the Queen of England in England got an art collection and property worth tens of billions. Like them people ain't got no money. But you ain't gonna hear them say the Queen. The Queen ain't gonna allow them to print her and say, well, she really worth 400 billion. I've read an article before that said Vladimir Putin is worth 200 billion and he's small money. Man, you got some powerful people in this world already. They won't allow the Forbes to put them up there. You know how that had changed the world if the Forbes put one of them on like such a surf worth 1.2 trillion. They won't allow them. That real money of this world won't allow them to be put. They lay in the shadows and eat. Those are the kings that's going to spring up because they're going to have the wealth. They're going to have the resources. So the world is going to need them. And they're going to say, like it said, they will have one mind and shall give their power and strength to the beast, the Antichrist, the devil. We need you because they ain't of the truth. They ain't going to give it to Yah and Yahushua. And they going to make war with the Lamb. Those of us saying we Israel, not even just black, white too, everybody following Yah and truth. They're going to make war with you. Everything you say is going to be a war against it because you're going to be talking the truth. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sat are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So the 7 heads, the 7 mountains, is the 7 continents. He's saying she going to be on every body of every continent, but over all people, all tongues, all nations, all multitudes have to buy into that lie. And the lie wears many faces. It ain't just one religion or one tradition. all religions and all traditions of the world are of the lie. Right? Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. See? As these nations crumple up under this lie, them 10 horns, them 10 kings that's going to raise up, they're going to be like, yeah, that lie we done sold through these governments and all this stuff around the world, we ain't on that. We going to buy in completely to the devil. We going to give him the power to govern us. See, the devil, even though the devil is present, you see him now because you're in truth, but he governs from the shadows. It's a day coming where the devil going to govern right up and personal in everybody's face. See, you just see it now because Abiyah is a lot. Blessed is he who reads and heareth and understands this prophecy. See, we've been blessed right now. We thank Abiyah for his Ruach being in the room and guiding us so that we can see this. But it's a day coming where, as you say, a blind man gonna be able to see the devil run this world. He running now, but everybody don't know that. It's a day coming where they're gonna get a power to him open. These shall hate the whore. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her, right, with fire. They gonna be like, yeah, nah, Mystery Babylon, we don't need your lot no more. We got the devil around here up close and personal selling this lot to the world, right? For Elohim hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Elohim shall be fulfilled. Yah done put it in their hearts. Yeah, go and turn it over because that's what you own. See, he didn't just put it in their hearts. They've already showed that's what they own. So just like Pharaoh, he's going to harden their hearts. Nah, stay right there. You already been killing my people. You got, think about it. We just showed it was the Pope with the Portugal, Britain, India, France, the Jews, the fake Jews in Israel, all them people profited off of slavery. See, you've already showed me that you're at war with my people, the people of the land. I'm going to harden your heart and make sure you walk it all the way down because I'm coming for my people. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city, which reigneth over all the kings of the earth. We just said that. Some people say that's wrong. And it could be because Mystery Babylon, like we said, is more of a system. But the king, the nation that reigns over every king of this earth right now is America. Every nation in this world has to bow up under them. That's why they 6. That's why they 6. And just so happened, that's where Israel led in captivity. Y'all ain't made no mistakes. Y'all ain't made no mistakes. So when I read Revelation 18, that's why this makes so much, not this makes sense when you hear about Babylon falling. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. He was bright. It say the earth was lighted with the glory of this angel. The sun doesn't light everywhere on the earth at the same time. When the sun in America, it'd be dark over in Japan and in Europe. It say that this angel is going to light the entire earth. This is something bright. This is something bright, bright. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. This is something bright, bright. Let me close it down. Right? So this angel is going to light up the earth. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. It's fallen and has become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit, demons, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird, evil spirits, evil demons, devils. It's telling you right there, Babylon is already that. Babylon's going to fall. We already see it. We see America falling. It said twice, but we see the system of the world is already collapsing upon itself. It's unrest from our people all over the world. The weather is collapsing these nations all over the world. COVID is collapsing these nations all over the world. We already see it falling. See, now it makes sense because Abiyah has allowed us to see. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of our fornication. All nations done bought into the lie. It ain't no truth being taught, no nation. Everywhere. The people who's supposed to be teaching the truth, the so-called people in Israel, the so-called Jewish people, they teaching the lie. The Messiah ain't came yet. America and all these other nations after World War II to put them back in that land. Scriptures say that the Most High gonna put them in that land and it's gonna be perpetual peace. It ain't been a day of peace in that land since they got there. We just saw that on display with all that bombing they was doing in the Gaza. Because them people sent some balloons with some fire in them. Yeah, okay. That's a lie. All nations have drunk of the wrath of her fornication. We seen that fornication meant idolatry, being in league with the lie. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. They done bought into the lie. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, meaning, and that's another thing, to have for all of the nations of the earth that flourish, and not only that, all of the top companies in the world, the majority of them, not all, but the majority of them, all have big stake in America. Foreign cars make a lot of their money. Like you got, I think Audi and all that is German, and Lexus may be English, or Lexus may be Japanese, and Benz, I believe, is either German or Russian, and all these foreign cars get their most publicity and money in America from these rappers and these celebrities. Now everybody need a foreign car, all these clothes, all this Louis and Gucci and all that. Aside from the American companies, McDonald's, Walmart, Apple, you gotta have stake in America to have that real money, man. All the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Now you can see it. China even China, they talk about how America and China into it. China make all of the goods. If Americas and Americans ain't spending recklessly how only they do, even China ain't what it is. It need the American dollar to flourish for it to continue to eat. Because who you making all them products for without America buying them all? Hallelujah, Shelly. Who you making them for without America? See, this makes sense now that y'all has been allowed us to see it. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. That's what this was all about, getting to here. All that I just read to y'all and went through was to get to right here. And I heard a voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. Hallelujah. That you be not partakers of her sins, and that you received out of her plagues. Y'all told us 2,000 years ago, y'all gonna be up under them people. You better come from up under that, where you gonna receive of her plagues. Wonder why so many black people dying from COVID and all of that? Because we is caught up into that. We receiving of her plagues. We eat pork, which they gave us. We eat all that other nonsense they gave us. All our traditions here in America and through the Americas and in South America is all with even the descendants of slaves in Europe and India. All their traditions is what they gave us. You better come from up under Mystery Babylon and that law. Y'all see what the truth is. And we say Todah to Yah for giving us the understanding of us on this call to know that's why we on here. We trying to figure out what so that we can come from up under these traditions and we don't have to partake in these plagues. Because as we stated, the plagues is here and the plagues gonna get worse. This is just the beginning of how intense these plagues gonna get. And they already getting intense. The whole world on fire, the whole world underwater, and the whole world under COVID. The Delta variant got the whole world thrown off. I just read about a Delta Plus variant and the Lambda variant. It's two new variants brewing already. COVID ain't going nowhere. They saying now you need a booster shot for the Delta. Next, you're gonna need another booster for the Lambda. Next, you're gonna need another booster for Delta. Man, you make be a day, they're gonna be telling people, man, you gotta get 3-4 shots a year for COVID. What? Y'all better come up out of her. Her sins don't reach unto heaven, and Elohim have remembered her iniquities. Y'all said, see what I'm saying? I've been plotting. I'm merciful. I've been waiting, because even though I know the end, I still gave y'all free will. Y'all might shock me and the world may get it together, but you haven't. Here I come. I remember them sins. I remember what you did to my people. I remember how you was raping my women and my men in front of everybody else to get the other men to dumb down. I remember you throwing my people overboard on that slave track from Africa. I remember you selling families away from each other. I remember you hanging my people and lynching my people in Jim Crow. Oh, I remember. I remember you forcing a white Messiah and calling Jesus on my people. I remember. I remember them idols you done put up on my people. Even if they don't remember, I remember. And they better remember and get from up out of that. Because when I come back, everybody who locked into it got smoke with me. That's what y'all saying right there. See, now it makes sense when we show that the system is the lie. And the lie wear many hats. You got all that, all through the Middle East. You got tribes of Israel all through the Middle East talking about they Muslims. Y'all better remember, because I remember. See, I remember the Arabic slave trade, which was 1,000 years before the transatlantic, where they was selling my people then through the Middle East. See, I remember. Even if they don't remember, I remember. Oh yeah, everybody got to see me. I remember her. Reward her even as she rewarded you. Everything you did to my people, I'm a reward double unto her double. I'm a reward unto her double, according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double. Y'all saying all that you did to my people over these last 2,000 years that I remember, and really further back than that, last 3,000 years, really going back to the flood, last 4,000 years, I remember. And I'm gonna reward this world double for it. Remember, the lie before the flood, which was a whole nother level of lie. See, the devil was reigning prevalent before the flood. The fallen angels with the devil in them was taking women, knocking them up, and having giants. I destroyed the whole world that time and saved 8 people because the devil was reigning from the forefront then. Everybody knew it. Now, he reigned from the shadows and used you men. I've been being merciful. I done sent my son to die. He taught y'all the truth. Y'all didn't want to hear it. Y'all killed him. I remember. Y'all got to pay for killing my son like that, even though it was prophesied and we knew it was going to happen. I remember. Y'all got to pay. Oh, y'all got to pay for killing Yahushua. You Israelites who was screaming crucify him, but you Romans who was in there, Pilate, all y'all who stood around, you was in power and did it, knowing he ain't do nothing wrong. Remember when you read Matthew, Pilate like, this man has done nothing wrong. They like, so what? Kill him. Pilate like, man, I wash my hands of it, man. Do what y'all gonna do. No, I remember. I remember. I remember. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. Man, y'all living good off my people. My people done built y'all nations, even y'all companies. My people sell y'all products. Who sell their products? Who sell Nike? Who sell Apple? Who sell their products? Who sell Microsoft? Who sell it? Who sell their products? NASA, all these space programs and all that. Y'all got that equation from one of my people in Hidden Figures. She gave y'all the equation to get off this planet, to have the satellites, to have cell phones and computers. Y'all live good off my people. I remember. Yet so much torment and sorrow, yet y'all killing my people and lynching them. Systematic racism and all your governments to keep them down. After glorifying yourself and living good off them. I remember. For she hath in her heart, I see the queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. Basically, the lie of the world is like, we don't care what we done did to them people. Who gonna stop us? They can't stop us. We done beat them down to death. And understand, it ain't about being black. Them Africans over in Africa who helped sell us into slavery, who helped do all of that. See, they just turned their back on them and beat them out all the resources in the end. But I remember you helping them come get my people. That's why you getting beat now. I already start judging you 100 years ago. That's why I let them beat you out of all your oil, all that gold, all them diamonds in Africa, the most fertile land. Y'all, I let the Europeans, now the Chinese done bought Africa. They like, we done watched Europe do it for 100 years. We done bought it now. We gonna steal the rest. That's because I remember. I remember you too. It don't matter because your skin black. I remember you too. I know what you done did. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. Death, mourning, famine, and she shall utterly be burned with fire. For strong is Yahuwah. Strong is the Most High Yahoo, judge of her. Remember, one day, we can't look at times like we do. One day is 1,000 years with Yah. He might say he been judging them for 1,000 years. We just see the impact now because it's accelerating. We don't know what this one day really means when you're looking at the time of the Yah. It could mean anything. We don't know how long. But we see it's happening. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication, all you rich men, all you powerful people, you powerful leaders of these nations who have bought into the lie and live good off it, deliciously with her. Y'all living good off this lie. Y'all living good saying that them people in Israel is the true people of my people. Although, and like I say, that's why I say, man, y'all told us what it was. Song of Solomon, chapter 1. This was written by Solomon. This was written by Solomon. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. Solomon said, I am black. Man, who is the white boys y'all got in my land talking about, oh, y'all living good? Oh, after World War II, and you started the UN and the World Trade Organization and the World Health Organization, and yeah, you got your systems together, and y'all start making this money global. You got all your gold right, and and then you put them people in Israel talk about they my people. Oh, okay, I remember. Y'all done live good off that lie with my people. I remember. Why you keeping my people down everywhere? I remember. Shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. They saying, all you people who did it, when it finally hit the fan, when America go up, think of, and January 6th, the insurrection was a thing of that. If you study the insurrection from January 6th this year, from a world's point of view, every nation in the world was like, we was appalled to watch them people take the capital. I seen the German news say that, the French news say that, in Japan, I seen they news say that, South Korea news said that, the UK news said that. Everybody was like, they was lamenting, they couldn't believe it. Because when democracy fall in America, the world will fall. See, that's what Donald Trump showed us. When the American economy tanked, the entire world's economy is going to tank. Man, January 6th, see how y'all move? He allowed January 6th to happen to show us that. The world was already shook at that. Wait till I burn it to the ground. Standing afar off from her, fear of her torment, saying, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And that's what I meant about the hour, man. That's what I meant about the hour. The word for hour, and this is the Greek. I had wrote this down in Hebrew somewhere. I don't even know where I put it. Oh, I got it right here. Okay, y'all. I got it right here. Y'all made sure I showed y'all this hour. He had it right there. I thought I lost it. The word for hour in Hebrew, sha'ah. Sha'ah, right? Properly, a look, that is a moment. So understand that an hour in Hebrew, where it's don't think about it like 60 minutes. He's saying in a moment. That moment could be 60 days. That moment could be 2 years with Yah. We on Yah time, not our own. This is written on Yah's time, not our own. 1 hour is thy judgment come. But we see it happening now. We see the stepping stones being put in order. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Without America, like I said, when America tanked, the economies around the world are going to tank, because everybody's economy is predicated off the dollar. And what's going on in America? They the biggest merchants. They buy the most oil. Through the war complex, they done conquered all of the land. They facilitate the systems to move and do all these things. Once it crashes, it'll all crash. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen, purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass, iron, marble. He's saying every market is going to crash. It's not going to be like COVID where you have people selling stocks in one thing, but buying stock in Zoom and digital Bitcoin, and buying stock in all kind of things to do remote learning. And that was the stocks that was hot. People that made a lot of money if you had that insight earlier and bought that stock for cheap. Y'all saying right here, ain't gonna be no buying no stock in nothing. It's all gonna crash. Cinnamon, odors, ointments, frankincense and wine, everything. Oil's gonna crash. Fine flour, wheat, beasts, sheep, food, it's gonna crash. Horses, chariots, these cars is gonna crash. And everybody who partaked in the slaves and the souls of men, who was them people? Everybody who bought my people, all that's coming down. All y'all who have profited off my people, all that's coming down, is what y'all saying. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from me, and all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from me, and thou shalt find them no more at all. It's over with. Y'all saying I'm crashing it all, and we see that already. They already predicted famine. There's water shortages in places around the world already, man. You could go Google all of that stuff I just said. You'll see it on the news. There's shortages of everything, everywhere already. This is why. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Meaning the people who have made all that money when America first fall gonna be like, whoa, it's over. But I'm coming for everything, y'all say. That's just gonna be the first step. and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple, that great city that was clothed in royalty and authority. Who has the authority? Who thinks they're the royalty all over the world? It's America. And because of America, other European nations move that way, and nations that's in line with America. So it ain't just America, but America is the head of the monster. Know that. And decked with gold and precious stones. Yeah, y'all got that money, all that authority based off of them. Okay, I'm coming to get it. For in 1 hour or in 1 moment, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. Meaning people gonna be watching it just like they watched January 6th. They couldn't believe it. They gonna watch the true end and be like, it's over. Everything is over. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? What nation is there like America? And that's why they gonna say in the end, man, we trusted in y'all, we trusted in this system. We need a leader. And the Antichrist is gonna pop up and they gonna say, we give it all to you. We believe you. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city where were made rich, all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her coastlines, for in 1 hour she is made desolate. It's over with. Everybody's gonna get it. Rejoice over her. And then look, he studied saying how they weeping on the world. They can't make no more money. We broke. Whoa, whoa. It's just, but then y'all say, rejoice over her in the heavens, though. And you holy apostles and prophets, for Elohim have avenged you on her. See what I'm saying? All my people, apostle in the Greek being a delegate, an ambassador of the word. That's what we are. Everybody on this call is a fisherman of men. Yah gave us the truth to be ambassadors to go teach. I mean, you ain't got to be everywhere, but teach the people around you the truth about me. Officially a commissioner of the Mashiach, ain't no Christ, with miraculous powers, apostle, a messenger. He said, all of you who have been set apart and picked up my ways, living and dead. The prophets who I done put on the planet, living and dead. I'm doing all this to avenge you. And that's why he said, come out of her, my people. But see, that's why they took your heritage from you, because they don't want you to know that you. And a lot of our people, sadly, that's alive right now, who don't care to know, they're going to face a lot of trouble as we continue to come down this pike, because they don't know that they them. See, Yahuwah take that personal. It says, for Elohim have avenged you on her. He take that personal. I'm avenging you on her, and you won't even take the time out to learn me. You won't even take the time out to learn you. See, one thing about a descendant of a slave, he ain't got to know no truth to know, I don't know who my ancestors was beyond slavery. Every black person in America know that. I don't know who you won't even take the time to learn that, let alone learn my ways. And that's why you're going to get punished if you still be bought in, because I'm doing all this for you, and you won't even honor me by learning you, let alone me. You won't even learn you. That's crazy. You won't even learn you, let alone learn me. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. It's going to be a violent overtaking. You ain't going to be able to mistake it. And not by force, though. Violence from Yah, hurricanes, waters, fires, famines, plagues. It might even be some wars break out, but they won't be the end all be all. It's going to be a collection of everything that Yah do that's going to destroy you. And the voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman or whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more. You know what he mean right there? All of the musicians, the harpers, the pipers, the trumpeters, they all my people. The craftsmen, the best actors, the best sportsmen, all my people that you profiting off of. Now I'm going to put an end to all of that. Ain't no more of that. Plus, they doing it to uplift you. They ain't singing about me. Michael Jackson wasn't singing about me. He's the greatest entertainer in the world. He was talking about a bunch of nothing. Thriller. That's wickedness. I'm going to put an end to all of that. All that's coming to an end. and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee. You know why? Let me see. Let me find something for y'all real quick. Let me find something for y'all, man. Let me find something. Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6. Show y'all something. That's why the light of that candle shall shine no more. It ain't talking about just no light and no candle. It could mean that too, but in Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6 is saying, he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, which we are supposed to be, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, which that's what we doing. We going amongst the tribe of Judah, telling them we them people, this the truth. We got to come up out of these traditions that we didn't learn because that ain't our people. And to restore the preserved of Israel, those of us who've been lost in captivity, the ones who don't know, we trying to restore it now, and hallelujah for us on the call. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. So when you read right here in this Revelation 18, so when we read right here in this Revelation 18, and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, I'm coming to get mine. The light amongst the Gentiles is going to be no more because I'm coming to get mine. And the voice of the bridegroom, Yahushua, and of the bride, Israel, and everybody learning the ways of y'all trying to be or follow the ways that y'all gave Israel, shall be heard no more at all in thee, because I'm coming to get everybody who follow it. So as you crumbling, you ain't going to have that light no more around you. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. All them billionaires and trillionaires that y'all done posted up around this world through the lie of the fornication and selling these lies around the world, they were the great men of the earth. And by the sorceries were all nations deceived. See what I'm saying? By that lie. Everybody profiting off the lie. And in her was found the blood of the prophets, my people. In her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints, my people. All the people teaching the truth of me. Ain't nobody killing Christians. Ain't nobody killing Muslims. Not in America. That's a lie. You ever shooting at a mosque? No. Ain't no blood and no Muslims on no ground. They around here flourishing. Arabic people live great in America. Just like the Christians do in America. Just like any other religion do in America. No. You know who they killing in America? Niggas. It don't matter what you believe. Because you my people. The blood of my people. And all of that we're slain up on the earth. He's saying, I'm coming to avenge all of that blood. And I stop right there and just say, hallelujah, man. Because he coming to get us. And that's why we got to be serious about walking in these ways, because he ain't coming to get nobody who lukewarm. Hallelujah. He know we ain't perfect, though. He know we ain't perfect, though. He understand that we trying. But you better keep trying. We better keep trying. And we better try with all of our being every day. Like it say in Deuteronomy chapter 6, it say, this how hard you better be trying. Deuteronomy chapter 6, it say, Shema Israel. Here means Shema, meaning listen and do. We'll bring that up, matter of fact. When you hear people say Shema Israel, they mean to hear. Shema, to hear intelligently, obedience. So what he's saying right here is, listen and do what I say, Israel. Yahuwah, our Elohim, the Most High Yah, is one. Elohim is really what this word Lord again is supposed to be, meaning he is above all. Yahuwah is above Yahushua. He's above the Ruach, which is the Holy Spirit. First and foremost, you got to understand that even though you do the Ruach is here to help you, and Yahushua, in whose name we pray, first and foremost, understand that everything comes from Yah. That's the first thing to listen and obey about. Verse 5, this Moshe. Understand, Deuteronomy was written by Moses. They in the wilderness. This what he telling Israel coming out of Egypt. And we in Egypt / Babylon captivity now. Same premise. It says, and after you figure that out, that's the first step. Verse 5, thou shalt love Yahuwah, or thou shalt love the Most High Yah with all thine heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. So he understand we ain't perfect. But what he's saying is you better be giving me your all, because when I come, I'm coming. And I'm coming to avenge you. But I'm only coming to get those of you who are trying. You might not be perfect, but you better be trying to give me your all. Because those of you who sitting around cool, PPP money, buying designer clothes, traveling everywhere, women buying bodies, cool with being side chicks, all the fornicating, married men doing this and that. The elders who done got some money feel like they straight, they above black people because they done made it. They are in major trouble because Babylon's in trouble. But my people who don't come out of her, you in trouble with her. But those of you who trying with all of your heart, with all of your soul and all your might, you're going to be okay. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I just stop right there. That's all I got for y'all, man. That's enough, man. I ain't got nothing, something slight. What they be saying, something that was just something slight. Hallelujah. Any questions, comments, anything?
That's good work. That's good work right there, family. That's good work. That's good work.
Hallelujah. That's us, bro.
Show all the way. Blind man can see that.
Yeah. Doing that for us.
All the way, man.
It's storming over there,
man.
I'm starting to hear it over here too. We finished just in time. Hallelujah. Ain't no questions or comments.
Hallelujah, bro.
Pray us out, bro, and we can get on about this Sunday, man. I'm gonna try to catch the stove before it get to raining real hard on me. Everybody good? Everybody good? Hold your peace. Hold your peace. We gonna pray us out. Shelly, you want to pray us out? I'll pray us out if Ariel turning up. Shelly.
Yeah, I'm here. Now go ahead.
All right. Abba Yah, we thank you today, Father, for bringing us through another message. We humbly come before your throne, Abba Yah, and bow the knee, and we just ask that some understanding go out from this message, Abba Yah, and you open up our hearts so that we can discern the times. You open up our eyes so that we can see what's going on around us, and you open up our ears, Father, so that we can continue to walk in your ways and to get better and to grow in your truth every day. Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, Abba Yah. And we know that, and we give you all reverence and esteem. We thank you for your only begotten Son that you sent here to teach an unclean people how to get back right with you, who is the King of Israel, the Holy One, the intercessor, the kinsman redeemer, who is coming to destroy Mystery Babylon and to retrieve your people. And we thank you for honoring that covenant and that promise that you made with our ancestor Abraham when you told him that you would come. In Yahushua's mighty name, Father Yah, we just pray that you continue to sustain us, Father Yah, as we discuss these plagues that you're bringing up on the planet, and we know it's going to get worse. We just continue to ask you to do right by us, Abba Yah, and to fulfill your word and your will be done in our lives, because that's all we need. We thank you, Father, for allowing us to work and for allowing us to provide for our families. We thank you for all abundance that you give us, but we know that the true thanks is always in the word and the truth and the things that you've done for us spiritually. Everything else is second, but we still thank you for allowing us to be. In the name of Yahushua, Hamashiach, we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We'll close it out.